Hi, this is Eddie Hearn, and you're watching Lights Out.
This is Faisal for Lights Out, proudly sponsored by Spartans Law. Delighted to be joined by British boxing trainer Dave Coldwell. Dave, we've just had the weigh-in. What's your gut feeling telling you for tomorrow night's fight between Amir Khan and Kell Brook?
Do you know what? If I've got to be pushed to it, I will back Kell Brook in this one. But I don't know. I genuinely don't know. It won't surprise me if Khan come out and catches Kell with something fast that he doesn't see, and Kell's legs do a dance. I genuinely don't know who's going to win. But if I've got to side with one, if I've got to get off the fence, I will side with Kell, because as long as he rehydrates well and he feels strong, then I think that extra bit of power, I just think he wins. I think he stops it.
There's so many questions surrounding the fight. You know, has Amir Khan still got that blistering hand speed? Has the injuries to Kell Brook's eye sockets, are they going to play a part? What has Amir Khan picked up in working with Bomac in under 10 weeks? Who do you think's got the advantage going into this fight, given the fact that both haven't fought in such a long time?
That's what makes this fight so great, because nobody's got a clear advantage really, because the only advantage you can talk about is what their career achievements were in the past. This is a completely different fight. This is like a one-off sort of fight in terms of stage of career. It's more about what have they got left. And we don't know until they step in the ring. It's all right looking great on the scales, but when you've been out of the ring for 2 years plus, you don't know what that's done to your body. You don't know how you're going to react to getting hit with little 8-ounce gloves on, you know. So it's not just a case of Kell's a puncher, because Khan can hit Kell, and Kell is more fragile these days, and he's been inactive, and you can see that Kell could go as well. He's that kind of fight. He's a genuine who knows sort of fight, and that's what makes it exciting. The atmosphere is unbelievable. The crowds are back. It's just got so many ingredients for a great night. I just hope it doesn't end too quick, if you know what I'm saying.
What did you make of what went down yesterday at the press conference? You know, a lot of back and forth, a few remarks that didn't sit well with people. What was your thoughts on it, Dave?
I just thought it was wrong. I thought it was. There's a certain element of snowflakes and people becoming snowflakes and trying to blow things out of proportion. Listen, I'm half Asian, right? I grew up eating poppadoms, right? Poppadoms are the most brittle things. They're more brittle than glass. So if you want to call somebody a glass chin, call somebody a poppadom chin. It's in relation to being brittle, right? Kell's grown up in a gym. It's quite famous, Brendan Ingles gym, where there's all different races, creeds, ethnicities, religions, everything. He's grown up with Asians. He's got his best mate's an Asian. I know it's cliche, right? I used to train him. Do you know what I mean? There's not a racist bone in his body. That's not. But when you're coming out with shit like that, for me, you're diluting the real racist and real racial elements in sport in the world, because that's not racist, right? And if you're going to be like that, hang on a minute, you're trying to make a race issue while you're being homophobic. Why are you making comments about that? Do you know what I mean? So, and it's not something he's just done there on the table. He's said it before. It's nobody's business what anybody's religion is. Nobody's business what anybody's sexual preferences is or anything. Do you know what I mean? But what's that got to do with boxing? But if you're going to come out with stuff like that and mock it and things like that, then you can't be claiming being outdone to over something else. I just think it's wrong. The whole thing was wrong. But the 2 days away from a fight, emotions are up in air. It's very, 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 very deep-rooted hatred between them. It's not fake. People saying it's fake and stuff like that. Is it? It's been going on for about 15 years, you know. So I just feel as though you're going to get that. You can't, you know. We're not playing cricket. This isn't the upper class people that have been grown up in private schools and things like that. Do you know what I mean? This is boxing. This is a couple of kids that have come through the hard way, made massive successes of their lives, and do emotions come into it when there's a lot of pressure on? Yeah, they do. So I just think it was distasteful, but it doesn't need to be carried on and made into a big issue.
Both fighters have had such lucrative careers. They've both been former world champions, been involved in big fights in and out of the country. Do you think both of them set a bad example to the younger generation, given the fact that we've got so many youngsters on this card? Do you think they've set a bad example to the next generation boxers?
No, I just think they've let themselves down a little bit. But like I said, sometimes we say things that we don't actually think about the meaning behind it, how other people can take offence. But that's the problem with life today, because everyone's offended about everything. You can say anything about anything, and somebody will find offence about it. But there's real racism, and there's real sexism, and there's real issues, and there's real problems that these things come up in. And by diluting it for stuff that's like a throwaway remark that's not meant in that way, it doesn't do the issues any good whatsoever.
Tony Bellew has been very active on Twitter as of late. I know you and Tony went to different levels in boxing. You 2 wins over David A made him become a world champion in his favourite ground, Goodison Park. He's a big Everton fan. He's kind of bit back at Jake Paul when Jake Paul tweeted that he's carrying the sport of boxing now. Over the last few years, we've seen Mike Tyson, Roy Jones Jr.
No. Where you going?
100%. Are you ruling out a comeback for Tony Bellew?
I don't think so. I don't think he'll fight again. I don't think his wife will let him fight again. He don't need to fight again. Listen, he's staying healthy. He's maybe me at 46 still being in good shape when I'm training him. Maybe I've rubbed off a little bit and he just wants to stay in shape.
A lot of people are calling for that fight with Jake Paul. They said they'd love to see it. They say Jake Paul needs to fight somebody who is a natural born boxer.
Jake Paul needs to fight. If he wants to be taken serious as a fighter, he needs to fight a real boxer. But again, that'll just be a novelty fight, won't it? Somebody that's been retired. There's nothing wrong in if somebody a similar record to Jake Paul fighting a boxer. I've got nothing wrong with that. Jake Paul's a great promoter and a great showman, but before he's calling out all greats and stuff like that, I think he needs to fight some real fighters that are active.
Just before I let you go, give us a prediction for tomorrow night. What do you think happens in the main event between Amir Khan and Kell Brook?
I'm purely guessing because I genuinely don't know. I see it can go either way. But if you're gonna ask me to get down off my fence, which isn't a very high fence because I don't have scared eyes, today I'm going to say Kell.
Dave Coldwell, pleasure talking to you. Thank you very much for your time. Enjoy the fight tomorrow and hopefully we'll catch up with you after fight night.
Nice one, mate. Cheers. Thank you.